Welcome, Lila, to the Love Yourself First show. I'm really excited to welcome you today as a guest because when we spoke, your energy level was here, and also you have a interesting take on self-love, which involves some movement, and I'm all about that. Talking about self-love and movement, I'd like to know how it is that you became a self-love expert or a self-love advocate.
Thank you. Thank you for doing this work. Thank you for helping people love themselves and really highlighting this, because I believe that self-love is the foundation of success in any part of your life.
It is.
Yes, ma'am. So I'm really grateful to be here and to share my story. The reason I'm really a self-love advocate and an expert of sorts is because I did not love myself. Really, I mean, it comes down to simple. I did not love my body. I didn't take care of it correctly. I didn't love my life. I remember like hating my stomach, thinking my thighs were fat, my butt was sagging, right? Like there were all these things, and I was like angry about my childhood. I didn't love where I came from. You know, I felt embarrassed by my roots.
Okay.
Right. So there's a lot of like self-oriented, almost like hatred, which
that was my question. Because you're saying you didn't love it, and I was like, well, did you hate it?
Well, here's the deal. I'm going to give you a story. So
okay,
in 2013, I found myself really unhappy. I was going through I was in a marriage that I was very unhappy, and I was trying to figure out what to do.
Yes.
And I was in a career where I was overworking myself, and I was unhappy. I no longer wanted to be going toward where I was going once I learned where I was going.
Okay.
I didn't want to go there. So I was in academia, and once I learned what academia was all about, I did not want to be in academia anymore, because I've realized it was more of a business than an educational institution. And it really, it kind of hurt my heart a little bit. I had really great people I was connected to. So nothing about the people, just the system itself. And I'm very grateful I chose to leave it. But I was really struggling. I had really high blood pressure, which we'll talk about around the heart and self-love.
Okay.
I was, about 35 pounds overweight. I had really bad sciatica pain, hip issues, and I was like early 30s. And
okay, still young. Yeah,
that should not be happening that young.
No.
And I was really a highly intellectual woman with a past. I grew up in an abusive home, and just this poor single mom who just smacked me around. I'm sorry to hear that. Talked down to me and all that kind of stuff. And I'm compassionate for her now. I've learned all the upsides of it all since.
I get it.
But I mean, so I sought intellect. I sought academic achievements, knowing. And then I got to this pinnacle of like my PhD dissertation, this life, where it looked like I had everything. I was married, I had this house, I had all these things, and I was miserable, and I was so unhappy. And I started doing yoga, and I started awakening my mind through moving my body. Okay.
That was new to you?
I was asleep and then I was awake. I'm going to tell you what happened. It's wild, girl. And I'm going to say this because I want everybody to know that there's maybe something inside of you. Makes me emotional still. I don't tell this story very often, so I'm really grateful to be here, because this goes back to the foundation of about a decade ago of where I started, and what I've done since is amazing. So I started awakening to my own thoughts, and the first conscious thought I had, first thought I ever heard of my own.
That's something.
Yeah, I didn't have it. I never had any sort of idea that I was thinking and watching my thoughts. Nothing. I was completely like not self-aware at all.
It was cut. I get it.
Yeah, I might have exercised and done stuff, but I was not at all self-aware of my mind and my thoughts.
Oh
Nothing.
my.
I'll tell you right now, I didn't know I was so, if you see me on video right now, I'm extremely animated.
Yes.
I did not know I was so animated until I started doing videos, same thing about that same time. I was like,
wow.
holy macaroni,
there's life in that woman.
I'll be so comfortable.
Wow. So tell me what happened when you got a thought?
Yeah,
or you realize you had a thought.
Yeah, it's painful. So this is why I'll tell you why I went on the journey too. Another reason is that I was looking for a ball for my dog to go play and I couldn't find it. And I found it under something on my desk. And I heard the thought, you're so effing stupid. Not effing, but the real.
Yeah, we know the real word.
And I stopped in my tracks, held the ball. And I thought to myself, okay, interesting. If I am one thing, I am not stupid. I'm not stupid. I know that. I do know that. I am not a stupid woman. I might be unaware, but I am not stupid. So I woke up to my thoughts. Okay, so that happened and then it continued to happen. What I realized was it wasn't my voice. It was my mother's voice to herself. I heard my mother call herself stupid her entire life. Which actually, so, okay, that sucks. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's bad. But on the other hand, and at the same time, that partially drove me to be so academically gifted and driven.
Yes, of course.
I ain't stupid.
No.
And anybody that knows me has done, man, they're like, I don't care if I was in 3rd grade or the PhD and everything in between. I did a whole bunch of stuff and, so I was I started a student senate in grade school, dude. Like
wow, you're amazing.
So anyway, the point is I thought to myself, if that's probably been going on in my head for 34 years. I was 34. Too
long, way too long.
I didn't know it. I don't remember it, but I guarantee I called myself stupid probably my whole life and I didn't even realize it. So I was asleep and then awake. So I can tell people how spiritual awake and I'm like, I get it. So then I went on this journey, same thing, opening my body, working my body. I ended up in Long Island, found this practice. And for the first time in my life, I physically felt love for myself in my heart area. So that's why I do what I do is that I recognize that people say love yourself and people say live from your heart, but nobody teaches you how.
How to incorporate them together.
Yes, as a lifestyle, so we have different parts of ourselves. Exactly.
Yes.
So what I learned was, number one, to love myself, I have to value myself.
Yes.
Okay. To value myself, I have to spend time with myself.
Amen to that. Yes.
Time and values are directly connected. So if you say you value something, you don't spend time on it, you do not value it. I don't care what anybody says. It's logic. I don't care.
Yeah.
I ain't going to reason something. Well, in my heart, no. Action.
It's a wish. I wish I would value.
I get it. We can shift our values and move toward that value. But in these moments, the only thing I could do to love myself more was take more time for myself. So I'll tell you what I did with that time. Number one. Okay. Number two, I realized I had to get out of this. I have a very strong, fast mind.
I imagine.
I do. I have the ability to take in a lot of information and process it and regurgitate it in a few words. It's my gift and it's the truth, like everything. So I had to stop taking in so much information.
Okay.
I had to start living and slowing down and feeling and
I think that one's for me.
So I had to get literally time with my mind, my consciousness, my awareness, whatever you want to call it, the feeling state, right? Not in the head, not the thinking, into my heart.
Mm-hmm.
Like the physical heart, the kind of what they call in like spiritual world, like the high heart. Like if you were to say, my name is Lila, my name is
Yeah.
Lila Veronica.
Mm.
I would put my hand right here on this chest. You don't put it on your head or your elbow. You put it
Yeah.
on your chest.
Yeah.
So this area is like the heart, and all the Heart Math Institute, like around the 60s, there was a guy who came out with research that showed that there was a magnetic field from the heart. We used to be like, they used to think we were like mechanical beings, biochemical, and then they realized we're more. We'll just go there. I'm not going to go into I could go on to that for a whole.
I know.
So if we spend time, number one, and number two, in the heart space, that's how we love ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So I took baths, I ate good food, I spent time breathing, moving. I teach a mindful movement practice now. Like today, I'm actually teaching a workshop on heart opening. But really, it's all about getting into your body. If you ask any of my people, any of my clients, any of my students, any of my like workshop people, anybody's done a retreat with me, I can get you stop thinking.
Wow.
And for a woman with a mind like me to be able to stop thinking, it's heavenly. It's soft. It's graceful. There's more finesse in my essence.
I see it.
So that's, been a big journey for me over the last decade, is learning, teaching, practicing, and then developing my own system, really for busy women who don't have time. I teach this in like 10-minute practices, because it's how you sit, stand, walk, and move through space is more of the day than like some exercise practice.
Can you elaborate a bit more on that?
Yeah.
Please.
Totally. So I teach a posture, different posture. So how we walk, sit, stand, all that. And then I teach people how to walk, how to pick up their cup, how to move their computer, how to drive, it's the same posture, but an engagement of the body.
I love it.
Because think about when we get old, we get leaned over, like if you think about okay. All I teach is how to put the body back into a more youthful state, like a little toddler.
Okay. Yes.
And what that does is like, even like the big personal development guru, Tony Robbins, talks about.
Okay.
If you want to get in a resourceful state, whatever you want to call it, you want to be in the flow, you want to love yourself so people love you, you want to be awesome energy so people are attracted to you, whatever that means for you. Yeah. You have to, you got to get the mind there, right? Mindset's great, but you got to feel it. You got to move your body. You got to put your body in the position of self-love. If you're thinking self-love, but not feeling it, just change the way you show up and look like a toddler instead of an old person. Now, here's the deal. It's a lot of energy that runs through the body when this happens, and not everybody's ready. So if you're on a self-love journey and it's hard because there's pain, it makes sense. All that means is there's some thinking. So I had to change my thinking. I had to stop blaming my mother for all my problems. Yeah.
Yes, there's a point where we have to take responsibility or ask ourselves what we're going to do with what we received. I get that. Yeah. People need to hear this. Thank you.
Yeah. I had to forgive my husband, former husband, and myself for incorrect behavior and poor behavior, hurtful thing. I had to own it, right? And then I have to continue to show up as an accountable woman and catch when I'm off in this thinking thing.
Yes.
Here's how I know. Here's why the body stuff is so important. I'm so passionate about it, is that if it doesn't feel good in your body, it's incorrect thinking.
We have to be aware.
Yeah. And so if we can shift the way we feel, it does have to do with the thinking, but it also has to do with the body. Sometimes the thinking is so hard, we can't change it from the thinking. Put a song on and dance. I guarantee you'll feel better. Like everybody knows this. Go on and drive.
Exactly. We've all experienced it. Yes.
Yeah, so that's how I got here, was really all about, like, I was a very smart woman that was very unhappy. And I just realized I was always outside of myself. I never took responsibility for my thoughts until I did. And
Mhm.
I was having to really, I left my career. I moved to Colorado to study and train under these like world-renowned teachers.
Yeah.
I spent about 2 years straight really reprogramming my mind and getting my body in order. I got off blood pressure. I've grown a half an inch. I'm taller. I'm like, that's almost a decade later, and I'm like taller than I was a decade ago. I'm like, how's that happening? I'm super, I'm not on any sort of medications. I don't have any pains and aches, and I help people all around I worked with people on all 7 continents at this point. But
Wow,
there's a really
impressive.
cool, fun online thing going, a great community, people who love me. I'm
Yes.
inspired every day to wake up, it's very different. I just want to say, like, everybody who's out there who wants to find more happiness, start with the heart, start with you, baby. It
Mhm.
will pay off, and it's going to take time, sometimes a week, sometimes a decade,
Mm.
in between. But I'll tell you, what you attract. I met my soulmate. I would have never thought there was such a thing as a soulmate. I'm like, this guy is my soulmate. He's like my other half. I'm like, missing. What? Unreal. He's like the one who's done all my branding and all sorts of cool stuff. He's brilliant.
Oh, wow.
And so what we attract, so if you got other people in your life who are like, it's like, go in.
Go in? Go what? What did you
Go
say?
inside.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
And work on yourself. And I'll give you something that I'm working on right now in my own life. It's really fun for anybody who wants to play with this. And I'll give you guys some tips too for the body. I'm working on this feeling of like Glinda, the good witch from Wizard of Oz. I don't know if you know Wizard of Oz, but that floaty, just feeling
Yeah.
like we can feel something. We have this energy field, like I said, from the
Mhm.
heart. So what I would offer is everybody who's out there and wants to self-love and play with this heart stuff that I'm talking about,
Yeah.
is, people say breathe deep. I'm going to tell everybody, instead of breathing deep, breathe wide, like fish gills with your ribs, like breathe wide. Take up more
Mhm.
space, go wide instead of tall, because we can go more low, like a Jamaican mind, go
I
wide,
get it. Yeah.
flowy, instead of tall and rigid, deep, go wide. And you can see I'm moving and it feels good to move. You're like, yeah, I want some of
It
that.
does. Yeah.
And then the other thing is keep your belly button soft away from your spine. We're always told to suck it in.
Yeah, that's what I did when you were talking about it. So don't do that, you say.
Exactly. It's a stress response when the belly button pulls in. So if you can relax that belly button, which is very difficult for many people in the beginning, it's okay if it is for you or anybody out there. But the belly button's soft, more wide in your heart, right? That just gives more flow of that everything. And then another piece is that we live in a society now where there's too much super close, like the phone, the computer, everything's close.
Yeah.
What we call in this practice as eyes on the horizon. So looking out into the distance, like, when you like climb a mountain,
yes,
look out at the sea or a sunset or a big, beautiful day, like, that feeling, you just said it, you're like, yes. That's a feeling of openness, of awe, of curiosity, of divine beauty, right? Of like heart, something in, like, feel it. And so what's happening is physically, we're actually closing our heart by staying everything so myopic, so close to us. So look, get that head up off that heart, baby. And how do you do it? Well, the eyes will help you. Eyes out into the distance, soft belly button, and wide, flowy ribs. It's a whole different way of living. So I have lots of other tips.
Feels good.
I have lots of other tips, but these are the ones that are going to feel good the fastest.
That's amazing. And you just help me understand something. But before that, I want to share that I thank you for sharing about that movement, because I think I needed to have that, to hear that it was okay. Because sometimes when I meditate, I'm not in that stealthy spot. I like to meditate and just feel it go, and I move. And when I practice with my hypnosis buddies, and they see me moving, they get perplexed. But then I tell them after, when we do give feedback, I'm like, no, it's amazing. It's because I'm feeling it and I love it. I feel good in my body. And having some feedback from an expert not movie, but who knows, movement like yourself is encouraging. Yes. And you know, that thing about looking out, I have a jiu-jitsu partner who's quite good, and he does that. He looks out when he's doing his thing. I'm going to incorporate that too. Lila, now I know you have high energy. I know you're a fun gal, but boy, I got to enjoy speaking with you a lot more because I got into movement. And did you see me change my posture as you were talking? Man, you're a woman of influence.
Yeah. People can't help it. And imagine being in person with me. Everybody in person, they stand next to me and they're like, who's? They like stand up and they're like, it's beautiful for me because, you know, awareness is the first step to transformation.
Do you sell posters?
Not yet. We do. I have a mat and I've got, you know, apparel. No posters yet, but I'll tell you what, my sweetheart could whip one up in a minute and be like,
because I need your picture there to remind me to stand straight, stand in my body, belly button.
I know. I have a
read wide. Those were amazing tips. And you know what? I forgot to jot down when we started our interview. And I mean, I think we got to wrap up at some point, but I would love to stay here, you know, all day. I know you also have a workshop. So if you could just like share with us a final thought before you tell us about your gift that we all want.
Yes.
So, yes. Your final thoughts.
Yeah.
Lila, please.
My final thoughts, and I've said this to many people over time, it's changed their life in a moment. It takes time to change, but sometimes it's a moment somebody says something. So I'm going to tell you this now.
Yes.
If you want to be valued, you need to value yourself.
Yes.
To value yourself, it means time with you, period. Whatever that looks like, whether it be mindfulness and movement or baths or nature, like whatever that means. It makes me feel teary-eyed. But if you want to be valued, you got to spend time and value yourself. It's time. It's related to time, period. Yeah.
I love it. It's simple, practical, and you've said it twice. So I guess that it's the heart of your message. Now, I know some people will want to connect with you and tap more into your energy. You do have a gift to share, so I'd like to know more about it, Lila, please.
Yeah. This is a journey you're taking people on to help them love themselves more.
Yes.
I'm going to give you the number one best teaching that I give my clients, my students in my school. And it's a heart opening, pulsing practice. So you know how you said you don't necessarily just want to sit and meditate? Women especially are much better at mindful meditation, or movement meditation and stillness meditation. You see more men, like Tibetan monks, all that kind of stuff, like, whoa, you see more men be able to sit still, period.
Yeah.
Women are at the dance floor like, whoa, men are like chilling, smoking a cigar, or whatever. Like, so it's not that they can't move, it's just that the women are more like the electricity through the electrical line.
Yes.
You know, they're on, you know, so it's a 10-minute practice.
Okay.
You learn how to open 3 parts of your heart, the sides, the back, and the front.
Okay.
And you get to pulse and play. It's fun. It's curvy, bounce.
Wow.
And it's only 10 minutes. And so what I would say is that I have people who are doing this. I've got a couple doing this. They're on like day 25 and they love it. And so you'll get to experience a little bit of what I teach,
Okay.
which is different than anything you've probably ever seen.
Mm.
Yeah.
It sounds different. I love that it's short in time, and every single word that you've used to describe it are words that I love, and are words that also I know our women viewers will love. So certainly your gift will help us get back into our bodies and own the space in which we live. Lila, it was a pleasure welcoming you today on the Love Yourself First show. I'm happy that that day where you bent down under your desk and you caught yourself having a thought, you decided to do something about it, and you changed your life, and you're sharing with us today your journey, and you're inspiring the world through movement. Thank you. It was truly an honor.
Thank you.